Wow, that never happened before. I was in the middle of talking and the program just shut off, froze up, and then disappeared. But anyways, I started out by saying that there's a show on Netflix called Dairy Girls, um, and there's a character on there whose name is Colm or something like that, Colm, and everybody avoids him, because his stories are boring as hell because he adds too many unimportant details to them and he talks very slowly. I'm like, there's something familiar about this guy. I can't quite put my finger on it. But anyways, I'm still in the cave in, but for like a different reason. And I was able to get up and do some housework, and I just worked until I was exhausted and couldn't do anything more. And anyways, that was last night. Now this is something I probably told you before, but I had a dude come over here and on a motorcycle, my brother-in-law, and run through some, basically I ended up with $20 in front of the war vet. So the war vet's busted. Everybody in the building's busted except for Roy, as far as I know. And so that turned out to be a mistake because I told him another mistake is I told him like I'm gonna give $10 of this to Michelle because she been supplying us with cigarettes, and he was like, that was my tobacco she was rolling up. Now he conveniently forgot that while he was just off in Canton for Hall of Fame weekend or whatever, she took a bus trip and he gave her her remaining tobacco and she rolled it up for him, put it in a nice little tin, you know, and he wasn't here to give it to, and gave him to me. And I was like, do you think, do you want to hold these for Chris? I mean, you know where he is? And I'm like, not really. I didn't know at the time. I thought he might be in jail. And I'm like, okay. So I hold them, and I put them in like plastic bags to keep them fresh and whatever. And there's a lot of them. And I'm like, when he come back from wherever he was, I was like, here you go, and gave him to him. So without me and without Michelle, she's in Illinois for like a week, and he's cigaretteless. So, um, anyways, so he finds out this was before the $20. He finds out that I gave her $20 with the intention of, her buying the tubes and the tobacco because she's got an electric machine to kill herself with. And so I hear all this noise outside, where they're having, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're having like an animated argument. I'm in my little cavern here, my little soundproof area. And so I think they're talking maybe about his girlfriend or something like that. But what's really happening is he is strong arming that $20 off of her, you know, basically taking that 20 off of her, you know. And so later on, he knocks on my window and gives me the $10 change. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even ask. She was out there not saying nothing. And I was like, well, maybe she handed the money to him to give to me. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I really don't give a fuck. But later on, I did give a fuck. Um, so, he just like robbed her for beer money, more or less, probably. You know, that money was loaned to her and it was meant for her. And I'm like, I'm not confronting him about it or getting involved in any of this bullshit or hearing any of the convoluted logic about that was not my tobacco that she was rolling up. And then I'm like, fuck all of it. It don't have nothing to do with me. So, like whatever. And then, so the aid worker's sitting out there Um, and she did some shopping for me, and I had like $13 left over, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, that's just not cool what happened, you know. It's like a strong arm robbery. And I hobbled up the steps one step at a time. I knocked on her door, and I had like $13 change, and I was like, here, just pay me back on the third when you get paid, and buy the good stuff, because, you know, the better tobacco you can get, it costs a little more. She was like, thank you, I'll pay you back. And anyways, um, so, you know, I felt like, okay, that's sorted out, sort of. And so the day after that, I'm sitting there, and I want to eat, but I want to eat sitting up because I've been laying in bed entirely too much, as people always tell me. And you know, I said I got to get moving today to try to snap out of my depression. So I'm going to eat, and I'm going to do some housework. So I was like, I'm going to eat in the living room. So he's on the porch, and he's got a plate, and I think he's eating too. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we can have like an after dinner cigarette together. The tobacco demon in me's been woken up, and so I'm eating. You know, I'm actually eating faster so I can get to the cigarette. And he's not eating dinner. He's rolling cigarettes up with the $8 rolling machine that he bought because uh, the lady upstairs, 50, 60, $70 electric machine is broken. So, anyways, so I opened the window. Big fucking mistake. I opened the window, you know. I'm like, how you doing? And right away he's like, we got the seller, we got the buyer, we got the hangers on. He's pointing at these cars in front of here, and he's like, what do you think? Should I deflate all their fucking tires? And I'm like, I probably don't think that's the best idea in the world, no. And he had some rebuttal for that or whatever that I didn't pay attention to. And um, so he was like, I can't believe her, man. She's knocking on my door like 5 times a day for a cigarette. She's borrowing bread off of me, and now she's getting a front for crack. Because I know she gets paid on the first, and she's just getting a front. And it's like, that guy right there is the crack dealer. And this guy is street smart. He ain't stupid. You know, so he's probably right. And he's like, I can smell it up there. And he went through like cocaine rehab. So, you know, he's probably on the money. So my $13 that I thought was going toward cigarettes probably went toward crack. Um, but he was like, man, I can smell it up there, and I know he's extra angry because his cocaine demon's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Um, so you know, he's like, and he's like, I'm gonna go up. I'm going up. I'm going up. I'm like, fuck, you know. So he goes upstairs, and I hear a bunch of loud voices. I didn't hear no banging around or nothing like that. But you know, I think he basically told him like um, that he knew what was going on, and that like he come down and he said to me, um, she better never knock on my door asking to borrow bread. She's knocking on my door 5 times a day to borrow a fucking cigarette. She better never ask me to borrow nothing if she's gonna be getting fronts on crack, bringing that around here. He's all pissed off and shit like that. And he's like, just randomly says, I think I'm gonna cut my hair. I'm like, what? He's like, I think I'm just gonna buzz it all off. His hair is like yay long. He's got like a bald spot in the middle. He's about 30. I think he's 34. And I'm like, I didn't try to talk him out of it. It's like minimal words are best around this cat. And So he goes up and he's got like a beard trimmer thing, right? So he starts out with the scissors and he's just sitting on the porch, because he's like, the wind will just blow it away. No. And he's just cutting all his hair with the scissors, and then he starts in with the clippers. And he's like, man, this is fucking ain't working. He expects it to be done in like 15 minutes or whatever. It's like, that takes a very long time, because that's what I do with what little I got. Is I wait till it gets a certain length to where I look like Gene Hackman, and then I just buzz it off. And so he did a very poor job on it. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna put the Santa Claus beard on for one more time. And I gave him my white hat with the black band, which costs like almost nothing. And he's like, he thought it was this or whatever like that, but kind of laughed about it. And put it on, and then he was like, I hate hats. I never wear hats. He's like, hats are for people with something to hide. I was thinking, like, is hair for people with something to hide too? Is that why you want to get rid of what, you had a decent head of hair there? And so I'm like, I think I smoked 3 cigarettes, because I'm kind of like stuck in this drama that's going on, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm not gonna hit and run you, dude. I was like, I'm gonna sit here at least long enough to smoke the cigarette and talk to you. But then it can't. All this, you know, all this stuff started happening. I'm sitting there watching the guy like clipper his hair and stuff. It's like, and uh, my aid worker comes over the next day. I said I got to do housework. He's like, yeah, I got to get up and go upstairs anyway. So I tire myself out last night doing housework until my leg's killing me, and I take 3 gabapentin, which I was hoping would put me to sleep, but it didn't. So I took a Valium on top of it, and then the M person comes over, and I realize I kind of screwed up because I had a script for like almost a month, and like the whole time I could have had like a bigger stockpile of Valium, which I still have. Like, I counted them, I have exactly 30 extra anyway, but it could be like 90 extra or 100 extra, but I didn't take my script in. And I was like, stupid. It doesn't matter if it's a script. If it's a refill bottle, they make you wait the full month. If it's a script written by a doctor, they'll just go ahead and fill it. So I was like, dumb. I know that, but it just escaped my mind or whatever. So uh, she's telling me like she should be paying me, man, for like psychotherapy or whatever, because she's telling me about all her problems and stuff. And I'm not really a morning guy. I like to sit and drink coffee and watch baseball. And it's like I had to set my alarm for 7 and go to sleep at 2 or 3. And I'm like, dizzy by all the stuff she's telling me, and she's like, I'm kind of a loner. She kind of like needs somebody to talk to or something like that, apparently. Maybe I'm easy to talk to. I don't know. But or maybe I'm a captive audience because I have a walker. I don't know. But she knows I can be brusque because when that lady walked by and she started talking to me about the original $20, I was like, I don't want to hear about none of that bullshit. That don't have nothing to do with me. It's like, that's between y'all. I'm staying out of it. And she's like, oh, I understand and stuff. Before I went up and gave her the $13. So, the aid worker knows that I can be like that if I need to be, but she knows I won't be. And so she's going on and on and on, and I'm doing my best. It's getting on my nerves, but I do my best to pay attention. And, I like her and all, but it's just like 8 o'clock in the morning. I really don't even like it myself. I don't like nobody. Feeling like rough like that, but I'm smoking her cigarettes. I think I smoked like 3 cigarettes there. I don't know what I've been averaging in a day for the last 2 months, what my cigarette average a day is. But I can feel a difference. And I felt the difference later on because after, he came out with his messed up head and she like waited till he went inside and I was like, it's like, good Lord. Looks like, you know, he looks like a cancer victim where their hair falls out like in sections and stuff. And because I had told her that he he did that to himself, so she wouldn't be shocked when he came out, and then like she could keep a poker face since he is so volatile and he's easily offended. Um, but anyways, she leaves. I smoke two of. He's in a good mood. We're talking football, and I had already drunk coffee. Not necessarily good for your heart. And I already smoked like this. I was on my fifth cigarette. He offered me a sixth, and I said no, thank you. And I'm sitting there, and I'm outside with my feet propped up, and I have to be out there anyway because I'm waiting for the Meals on Wheels guy. He shows up. The Chris guy offers to bring my stuff in my house and put in the refrigerator, and he does. And you know, now he since I rearranged shit in here, now he knows I got like extra guitar cases in here, right? So now he comes back out, and I'm just sitting there, and my heart just goes out of rhythm, and I'm like, fuck. And I throw my hat down on the table, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I got arrhythmia. He's like, what's that? I already told him what that was before, but I guess he was drunk. And I said, that means when your heart is not beating in rhythm, you have to go to the hospital for it. And I was like, held my hand out, like, just don't talk to me, And I was like waiting. And it must have been out of rhythm for like 20 seconds, man. I was pretty sure it was going to be a 911. I was already thinking ER and, possible hospital visit and all that. Because it was, you can't, I don't have a watch and I wasn't timing it. And it seems like 10 seconds probably seems like a minute. But it was a long time. It was a longer bout of arrhythmia. I don't think I've ever had a bout of arrhythmia that long where it didn't stay in arrhythmia. And then I ended up in the emergency room either getting shocked or getting hospitalized. So, I'm like, oh, stay calm, breathe, breathe. And then it goes back into a normal rhythm, and I get like this weird flush that goes through my body, which I don't always, that happened once before, but I don't always get that. It's just like a weird feeling. It's alarming. But then I was like, I think it's back in rhythm. I think it's back in rhythm. And I took my pulse, and my pulse was pretty high, but I was like, yeah, okay, I'm back in rhythm, just to make sure, because, you know, you can feel it go out of rhythm. You know it's going out of rhythm, but you don't want to be like, I think it's back in rhythm, and then you're like, no, it isn't. You don't want to freak yourself out in the middle of it because you have to stay calm to get it to pop back into a normal rhythm. So, yeah, that's a wake up call because I haven't had any real problem with that for like a long time, and I realized that because I had rearranged my phone where I don't have a landline. I just have a cell phone like everybody else. And man, you got to keep that son bitch charged. Because what if I'm in my room and I got a dead cell phone? They have 911 over the computer, maybe? Maybe. Let's check into that. But, so yeah, that was terrifying. And so I come in, I took a blood pressure pill, and as soon as I was able to, like, I sat out for a while. As soon as I was able to walk, I said, you won't be seeing me no more today. And I went back in and took aspirin to thin my blood, and then like um, another volume, and what do you call it, a blood pressure pill, and like just laid there. And I ended up going to sleep, and now like I got like pain now. I don't know if it's psychosomatic or what the deal is, but I got like pain, and I like you know, so it's alarming. I'm still in a better mood than I was in the last video, but it's fucking alarming. But it's a wake up call. You know, I don't enjoy sounding like a foghorn. You know, I definitely don't. You know, it's a wake up call because, like I said, like I was starting to say, but I'm sure I fucked it up. Was like, you know, what if my cell phone's dead and I got to make a 911 call? You know, what do you do then? I probably covered that already. I'm just my mind's not quite right. I don't know. Do this whole like heart pain thing, which is new. It's like it's not severe or anything like that, but it's like, is this angina? Like, what the fuck is? You're only supposed to get angina when you get like heart attacks and stuff. What was that? A cardiac event on the porch or same old arrhythmia? I don't know, but you know, just stop with the cigarettes and the self-destruction. It's like, this is your warning. This is your one warning you get. Next time, and you'll be in the hospital. So just stop with that bullshit and start working on your cardio. And that's like really hard to do. Getting your heart rate up when you're worried about arrhythmia. I've already been through that before when I was walking on treadmills and stuff. And you're walking on a treadmill, and the whole time you're checking your inner barometer and checking that heart. You know, like the first funky thing that you feel with your heart, man, I'm off of that fucking treadmill. You know, I'm getting my heart rate back down. But at the same time, you need to do that to work on your cardio and strengthen your heart. And the depression that I've been suffering for some time, really since I couldn't get anything done with my knee, um, it's you know it's killing me in other ways, and it's a rational depression, but you know I can't afford it. I can't afford the luxury of depression. You know, I can't afford it. I have to find the will to like move around and stuff. Maybe all the work I did the night before put too much strain on my heart, plus the smoking. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But yeah, that's the news. The other one thing I did was 20 hours. This can be 20 minutes. Um, I don't really have anything else to report or talk about. But yeah, it's a weird feeling, man. It's like, I mean, I think angina is pretty severe, so this might be like, I don't know what's going on. But I know I don't feel right internally, and of course my anxiety is through the roof. You know, like my aid worker M said, I wonder why. And I said it has something to do with somebody about yay tall, maybe. You know, um, yeah. I swear to God, when I first started talking to the guy when he was drinking and throwing them cigarettes, I was like, no, just stop. You know, he just couldn't stop him from doing it. It's like, you know, he started the shit up on me, and even when like I said, even when I gave him the TV, he felt gratitude, so he gave me a full pack of the premium Turkish blend Camel cigarettes. You know, and I'm like, dude, I don't want these. He was like, just take it. You know, I was like, you don't understand, man. I got arrhythmia. I'm like, he's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, that means I go to the hospital and I get shocked. It's bad, you know. And he's like, well, just take them and hold on to them for me, you know. And then like I end up smoking like 9 or 10 of them over a 24-hour period. And the next time I seen him, he was like, whoa. I said, I told you I'm an addict, you know. Then I thought to myself, I didn't say, I don't throw beer at you, you know. So yeah, and of course M tells me you gotta move. Everybody tells me you gotta move. And like I don't have any money and I have 2 months free rent here. It's like, you know, I got 2 months. I can probably in 2 months get together $3,000, but I gotta buy a bed and I gotta like leave a bunch of shit here. It's not a lot to move with. Then, you know, I don't even know how much the place I got scoped out charges. I've never been there. I've never made any phone calls. I just got this place picked out, and that's got a police station across the street because I'm just tired of drugs. I'm tired of drug activity, you know, and I think my niece will help me move there. I'll just leave everything here. I don't give a fuck about material possessions. I will take the barest minimum. Things of personal significance to me. Things that were, um, you know, things that were around during the bedbug price crisis when I had a full case of them. Because I've only seen two. You know, I've seen one lively one and one that was almost dead. I've only seen two. But I will just buy garbage bags, double bag everything, and she'll probably help me get a storage locker to throw that shit in. Because some of that stuff is of personal significance to me. Like, I don't know, my first draft of my first novel, which was actually in a drawer under the bed that had the bed bugs in it. So I don't really want that in my new apartment. Um, yeah, I have two appointments coming up, and I have to deal with my teeth and my eyes as far as getting contacts. And hopefully I don't lose this aid worker, even though she's like using me as a psychotherapist. Um, I like her. I don't like the other ones all as much as her, you know. And but she said her work schedule might be erratic, and she's due for surgery, but she has no idea when. But yeah, I have much to do, but I am in a better mood. How can you be in a better mood after having a cardiac event and then having weird chest pains? That just goes to show you, you know, that last video that was 2 hours, like that was some severe depression. I don't mention. I don't know if I mentioned that I called my brother up and I told him like he's like how you doing, and I'm like well probably in the most severe depression of my life. No comment. Doesn't say nothing about it. You know, waits for me to get done talking about how I didn't eat anything and like I'm too depressed to get out of bed to eat and stuff, and he just moves on and talks about his life. Got nothing to say. I don't think he said a lot. I'm sorry about that, or like, is there any particular reason, do you think, or, you know, no real interest. It's very strange. The funny part was if I said I'm in one of the most severe depressions, or I'm in the most severe depression of my life, and you know it's weird. I saw a goldfish swimming around in a puddle outside the house. It had rained so much, uh, and the water washed off the rain, and it was between the ramp and the porch. He'd be he'd pick out the goldfish and say, "You saw a goldfish," and skip over, you know, just to talk about something else than depression. It might be because he has clinical depression, and it just brings that to his mind or something. I don't know, but it's still very strange behavior. Um, but yeah, I just thought I'd report in since the last one I was down and out, and you know this thing happened today, which was like a cardiac event. I mean, I was spooked. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would have bet that I'm not ready to go to no hospital right now. I don't want to go to no hospital right now. I just waited and waited, and then like I said, man, it kicked back into rhythm, and then I just felt like a warm flush go through my body, and then like a hot flash, and then I was like didn't trust it for a second. And I was like I think I went back into rhythm, but it was probably 20 seconds, but it felt like forever. I mean, it was a long time. So, you know, whatever it takes, man. If it takes like having a conversation with the guy and saying, look, I can't be around it. It's like I gotta take some time off, you know, have brief conversations. But he would still offer me cigarettes, you know. Like, oh, here, you want one? You know, because I told him at the beginning, no, no, I can't. I already explained to him I got arrhythmia, and he's still forced. Here you go, here you go, die. Here's some death. Take some death. Um, but yeah, this today happened like right around noon, and yeah, if that ain't a wake up call, I don't know what is. Plus, my voice sounds horrible, and yeah, I made that longer than it needed to be. That's half an hour. Just want to tell you that that happened, and some of the other stuff is somewhat interesting. I think it's not every day that you see somebody do a Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver on your porch. Just like you have impulse control issues. It's like I didn't try to don't do that. Wait until just wait, give it some time and think about it. Because yeah, that guy's volatile as hell. Um, but no, I'm actually in a better mood, even though I don't know if my heart is damaged or not from whatever happened today. I don't know why I got like a little like bit of chest pain. My voice is all fucked up, and I know I'm not in the hospital. That's the main thing. I'll get some tea or something. But yeah, it's a strange world when you can be in a better mood after something like that happens to you. And anyways, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.